So, we're not rich and famous?
Oh, I was writing my State of the Union speech.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Star Night Research. Joining me today is Michael Byrnes here, as we're going to be talking about the latest Captain America movie, Brave New World.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? I enjoyed the Captain America movie. It was 7 out of 10 for me. It had a lot of action. It was very exciting. The pace kept up, like bang, 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 bang. It didn't drag. When it came to the acting, Harrison Ford really pulled it off. Well, of course, he's Harrison Ford. Anthony Mackie, carried the mantle of Captain America well. Really proud of him for that. I have a big passion for the Hulk. When I got to the theater, they had these little cups for sale. They got the little Hulk guy and hold on, let me find the other Hulk guy. They sold these. These are actually popcorn containers at the Regal theaters. And that's not the only one they had. They had this other popcorn bucket, and this comes with a shield on top, and inside it came with the 2 cups. So if you're out with a date or something, you get 2 drinks and a popcorn. So I thought that was pretty cool. They marketed the hell out of this thing, which they needed to, in my opinion. It was Captain America 4. It was taking a lot of strides from the previous movies, but we saw Captain America, or like Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show that led up to this, and I thought it did a really good job. There were some plot holes. I think we talked about that here in a little bit, but overall, I enjoyed it. It was really good. I'm a big Hulk fan. My Hulk shirt on. I think we spoke about this before, but I was in Disaster movie. I was like a featured extra. They had like a Bruce Banner, and then they had a big guy called Roland Kickinger, and I was the middle Hulk. And basically what they did with me was they put me in a shirt, they painted me all green, and I was the guy that ripped the shirt. And that was my claim to fame for the Hulk, and Kim Kardashian was there. That was kind of nice.
Still, that must have been cool to be part of that movie.
That was neat. Like I said, when Hollywood came to Shreveport, I jumped on the bandwagon real quick. My buddy called me. He goes, "Mike, are you doing anything today?" I was like, "No." He goes, "Why don't you come downtown and you can be the Hulk?" I was like, "What?" So I got there and the director was like, "Yeah, you'll do fine." So we filmed 3 days. First day, they made me up green, and they had me expand as much as I could. And I was like, I can only get so big, to stretch the shirt. So they put like a balloon contraption in my back, and it blew up. So when it blew up, the shirt got tight, the buttons popped off, and then they put a balloon right here, and that way this part of the shirt would rip. After I had to tell them, you need to score it with the pin, like they did with Lou Ferrigno shirt. They would score it, and it would rip. But in Lou Ferrigno, you'd see someone who was literally just ripping the fabric. But with this, they used a contraption when it hurt. But as far as, like I said, going back to this movie, I enjoyed seeing Harrison Ford transform into the Red Hulk as President Ross, as it would, because it gave it a lot of climax, a lot of drama. You didn't see him turn to the Red Hulk until the 3rd act, because you're sitting there thinking, when's he going to change? You just saw his eyes get red, he saw his hands get a little iffy, and then finally, Hulk.
I get that they were trying to make this movie very epic, something to really see, but I was hoping that the transformation would happen somewhere midway through the film, but it was pretty cool to see that happen, because it's an ironic twist of fate done by the leader, even though he's not really called that.
Matter of fact, another extra time that I was an extra in the film, there was a movie called Leaves of Grass that Ed Norton and Tim Nelson were working on here in Shreveport. When you're an extra, you're not really supposed to talk to anybody on a set, especially the director. But I want to know, and I said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" Talking to Tim Nelson. He goes, "Yeah, you can ask me a question." I said, "So, in the Incredible Hulk, you have blood dripping on your head. Are you going to be the leader?" He goes, "That's the plan." I was like, okay. So 15 years later, it came to fruition. I was like, good. They used the same actor from the movie, that led up to this, and you had you had a legit actor from the movie whose continuity continued on, and it brought on the leader. Because I like it when they do that, when they bring the same actors to do the same part of the same role. Whereas with the Hulk, you had it was Ed Bannon, am I saying his name right? And then
Eric Bana. It was Eric Bana, I think, for the first one.
Then Ed Norton, and then of course Ruffalo. But we got Tim Nelson, and then we got Liv Tyler. I think that's pretty much all that came from the original Hulk. Because a lot of people were calling this Hulk Part 2, which in essence, it had a lot of material from the Hulk movies.
Yeah, because this felt more of a Hulk movie than a Captain America movie.
I mean, you had Cap. You had Anthony Mackie playing, Captain Falcon, if you will.
Yeah.
He did a really good job as playing Cap. I enjoyed it. Steve passed the mantle to him. And they said to him in the movie, they were kind of at his throat about it. You're not Steve Rogers. You're not. He said, we know. He even said it. And during the movie, they teased about not taking the serum. He goes, I wish I'd have taken that serum. I was like, he's damn right. You should have took that serum. So, but what do you do?
Yeah, but I mean, look at Blue Beetle from DC, because the first one had the scarab on his back, but then before Jaime Reyes, there was a second one, Ted Kord, and he didn't have the beetle on him. He just made his own inventions and just became a very popular, normal superhero.
Right. He was more kind of like Anthony Mackie was. He was very athletic, but he was smart, and he created all these devices, kind of like Batman. That's what that movie kind of reminded me of the Batman.
But that's always a common thing whenever there's someone new take on the mantle, they're always going to be living in the shadow of the previous guy.
Oh, definitely. But going back to the Hulk, I mean, you saw him Hulk out, if you will, in the third act. I didn't remember in the comics of him taking any pills. I have to look, but I do remember Red Hulk versus Green Hulk, and we didn't know who the Red Hulk was for the longest time. You would read about this big Red Hulk, and you're like, who the hell is it? And finally they came out with it was General Ross, who used to be the Hulk chaser. Now he is a Hulk. So it's kind of ironic that they did that, but it worked out. And in the cartoon, they even brought them all together in the Hulk Smash show. What's it called? The Ages of Smash.
Yep, that was it, yeah. And I think even before that, in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they had that similar plot line where people thought that Bruce just became a Red Hulk, and they kept General Ross out of it until I think near the end of that. Though I forgot if he did that to himself or if someone else did that.
I thought he did it to himself. Like I could be wrong. It's been so long since I read that book. I'd have to look it back up. But in this one, he was taking basically steroid pills. Gamma steroids to get bigger.
Yeah, I think that's why I like that. No matter where his plans would go, the leader would still have the last laugh that he turned Ross into the one thing he hated.
Right. Because he was getting back at Ross for what he did to him in the first movie. Because remember the first movie, Ross came in and basically tore his whole place up. So he was getting back at Ross for messing his life up. So Byrnes was getting back at him.
Yeah, and I would say kind of rightfully so, since you kept promising him that if he got to be president, then he would find a way to restore him to be normal again. But that never happened.
No. And then, like I said, going back to the market, they marketed the shit out of this movie. I mean, they had toys galore. I mean, I got some right here. They got a Hulk toy. There's that way. And they got a smaller Hulk toy beside it in case you don't like the big one, you get a smaller one. And then they had Anthony Mackie's Cap, and then the new Falcon. They really marketed the hell out of this movie. They wanted to succeed, and they did make their money back. I think within the first weekend, they made their whole money back. And how long is it? About 2 weeks now?
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks.
Made like a whole $100 million more. So they've been a success with it. Because I want to continue on to making decent movies. Because this movie had hella rewrites and hella reshoots, and I mean, I don't know what they were until we see the DVD where they show you the actual edited copies, what was kicked out. I know they had a bunch of wrestlers that were the Serpent Society. Am I saying that right? The Serpent Society?
Yep.
They were part of that group, and they cut all their parts out, and they replaced them with Giancarlo Esposito just being Sidewinder. It was one of those kind of things you were like, well, what did they cut out? Why did they cut it out? Because some of the parts of the movie were good. It was grounded. It had some plot holes. Like, for example, they shot at him in the third act. Machine guns, and the Hulk was like, doesn't bother me. It just pisses him off, basically. But then Captain America's wings cut him. I'm like, all right, what's going on there? So, I mean, you can use the excuse that it's vibranium. It's just cutting through his Hulk skin or something like that. It's a comic book movie. What do you know?
Yeah, because it's not like Steve was able to beat Hulk with just his shield.
Yeah. And then Anthony Mackie, he got cut with the white costume, so he replaced it with the blue costume. Nothing happened to him. And then later on, Giancarlo Esposito's character stabs Anthony Mackie in the chest with just a t-shirt on. Nothing happened to him. He's like, oh, it's just a flesh wound. Dude, that's the upper lobe. You're going to have a sucking chest wound. And then, like, right after that, he stabbed Giancarlo with the same damn knife, and he's like, oh, I'm done for. I'm like, what? Which is it? Who took the serum? You're acting like you can take serum, but you're walking this knife wound off. Sort of bugged me, but like I said, I just watched it with a critical eye, and I'm also in the back of my mind thinking, it's a comic book movie. It's not real. It's fiction. Come on. None of this is real. We're going to believe Harrison Ford can become a hulking red moth rage machine, or dudes are flying around with bird costumes. So.
I mean, at this point, anything can happen with the Marvel movies.
I'm looking forward to the upcoming movies, the Thunderbolts. Florence Pugh does a great job as Yelena. I think I'm saying the right name right.
Yep.
John Walker as the U.S. agent, and you have the Red Guardian, and you're going to get the Sentinel. No, Sentry, right? Sentry.
Yes. I laugh when they just brought in just Bob.
Yeah, Sentry. Excuse me, not Sentinel. Sentinel's the X-Men robot. I'm looking forward to all those coming together because it looks like it's going to be really good. You have Julie Louis-Dreyfus in there who's playing the leader of them all. It looks like it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be funny. And it's going to go ahead and lead into the next series of movies, which is going to be Doomsday, where they bring in the Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom, and then into the Secret Wars, where I'm pretty sure they'll probably bring the Red Hulk back. You'll probably have another Rage Machine, Green Hulk, and you may or may not have that one character from the original Secret Wars. What was his name? He was in the white.
The Beyonder.
I don't know if they're going to have him or not. We'll see. But they may use that opportunity to pit the green and the red Hulk together and make them fight.
Yeah, that should be something, because I say right now we're on uncharted territory because of how, like, there's supposed to be the Kang Dynasty movie, but that got scrapped. So
yeah, they did scrap that, because of that actor. What's his name? Majors.
yeah, I think Jonathan Majors. Yeah,
he got in trouble, but then the charges were dropped. So now they're talking about bringing him back, but they're thinking that either Dr. Doom or Loki will dispatch of him. Like, they'll bring him back just for a clip and be done with it. But sort of tie a bow on it. That's what I heard. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Well, I think they did him dirty, but wait till you hear the verdict until you punish the man. Jesus. Hopefully, like I said, the man gets his career back on track.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's just crazy how these past few years there's been a lot of scandals and accusation, can't think of the word. A lot of these trials against some of these actors for what they may or may not have done.
Yeah.
I am hoping maybe there could be some kind of Hulk movie or something, or at least a limited series, just to shed some light on Hulk and his son Scar, and maybe we get to see Red Hulk back through that, and She-Hulk, maybe.
I don't think they're going to let them do a singular Hulk movie because Universal has dibs on that. I mean, if you see the Hulk in any movie, it's going to be in a group shot, like he can be in the Avengers or he can be in Endless She-Hulk, because Universal owns that property as far as that goes, and I don't think that Universal's going to share a title with Disney. You know, like if you go to Universal Studios, the theme park, there's still a Hulk ride there, and there's still a superhero section with Captain America and who else was there? Spider-Man was there, the Hulk was there, Storm. When I went to Disney World, it was actually at MGM. It was like the Christmas Jollywood Nights. We went to that. We only saw one Marvel character, and it was Doctor Strange. And I was wearing a Spider-Man band, and he goes, "Oh, you know my friend Peter." I was like, "Oh, you know who that is?" You didn't forget him? He goes, "No, I didn't forget him." "Oh, you don't remember the spell you cast?" And the lady taking the watch the movies. I'm like, I probably know more than y'all do, so.
Hey there. Is there a project you're working on? I know more than you. All right.
They really went out with the Hulk as far as Disney. They had these with Goofy, the Hulk.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, Goofy Hulk. Wasn't that cool? Is what if Goofy was exposed to gamma rays? Yeah.
I'm surprised Disney has not bought Universal yet.
Shit, that's a lot of money. I don't think Universal's got they're probably number 2, but below Disney. But I don't think they're ever going to sell out. They're not going to do that. That's a hell of a lot of money. I'm surprised they bought Fox. You know, when they took over Fox, you know, they bought all the Fox properties like The Simpsons and things like that. Hell, when they bought Star Wars, I was very surprised. Because honestly, that's George Lucas's baby. You know, I think he sold it for $2 billion. You know, if someone dangles $2 billion in front of you, it's kind of hard to say no. But he said it afterwards because I kind of regret it because those were his children, and they bastardized some other storylines. I was like, they did.
And I gotta say, even though for this movie, it felt nice to see a very return to classic form with Red Hulk. You know, being a rage monster, growling, shouting out to the heavens, making everyone scared and running rampant.
Yeah, that's the classic, what we want to see. I mean, I know in the comics he was Professor Hulk for a while, and I liked him being Professor Hulk because he was smart, he was still big, but he used his brain, whereas in the movies with Ruffalo's Professor Hulk, he seemed more docile and not as strong. Because in the She-Hulk TV show, they showed him get hit by a Jeep, and he couldn't even wrestle a Jeep, where in the first Avengers movie, he's wrestling a starry, flying worm and just pulling it to the ground. So they weakened him, they made him docile, and then they sent him off to Sakaar to bring back his bald-headed son, and his son looked dopey. Gave him the shittiest haircut you could possibly find, and he turns around, he looked like a 5-year-old. No, come on. He looked stupid. You look in the comic, he didn't look like that. Banner got with, the bug lady and had Scar, and then he came out, kind of like a caveman, if you will, but he was gray, but he was very aggressive, and he wouldn't some dopey-looking kid. Pissed that opportunity away, so I was like, y'all need to change that. So if they do bring back those characters, Hulk's son and Banner, they need to put some aggressiveness in them or something, because they were just too docile for me. I mean, I get it, you're at the family picnic, but come on. And I actually liked the She-Hulk show, except for the last 2 episodes where it got stupid.
Too much fourth wall breaking for the very end.
I mean, in the comics, she does that. She breaks the fourth wall, and she's funny like Deadpool. That was the part of her, shtick in the comic, and I liked it. But I wanted to see more of She-Hulk and not Jennifer. And even that one character, they spent the night together. They went together as, She-Hulk and whomever, and they woke up and there's a little bitty Jennifer, and I'm out. And I was like, I'm with you.
Oh, that's cold.
mean, I was done. I was like, come on, this is stupid. We want to see She-Hulk. We don't want to see Jennifer, because if you read the comics, she pretty much stayed She-Hulk most of the time. She didn't, and if she went to be regular Jennifer, it's very rare that you saw her, because even in the Fantastic Four, she's always the big green girl.
How's this hot stuff?
Which I'm looking forward to that movie, the new Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I would say for Marvel's movies and TV shows this year, I think there's definitely some really good hits with Daredevil, Thunderbolts, and possibly, the new Fantastic Four movie.
The Fantastic Four is basically, I think it's in another universe. It's set in the 60s. They actually have the Herbie character, the little robot. I thought that was kind of neat, the little nod to the cartoons back in the day. If you look at the thing with the CG, it looks damn near like the comics, just like what Kirby drew back in the day.
Yeah, I want to say with what Kirby did and a little bit of what Alex Ross did as well.
Oh, Alex Ross is my guy. I love Alex Ross. I hope it succeeds. I don't want this gravy train of superhero movies to stop. That's one of my favorite genres, is the superhero shows and the comedies. I want them to keep going. I don't want them to stop. Just plug on. Because they brought, if you think about it, they brought in the Eternals. They brought that back into this movie, the Captain America movie, with that celestial, what do you call it, in the ocean?
Yep, Celestial Island, yeah.
Island in the ocean. And then, of course, you brought back the leader and Betty Ross from the original Hulk movie into this. So they're bringing them together. They're connecting the dots. And, of course, here comes Bucky making a surprise appearance. You're like, well, they needed him. But that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Old Man Steve one more time, but oh well. I mean, I think it's fine.
I'm hoping, this is just me hoping, that when they do Secret Wars, the young Steve shows up with the Infinity Gauntlet, and somehow or another he pops up to help out. I'm hoping. I still hope they do a movie where they show him going around to putting them back. Because that would be interesting, in my opinion.
Who knows? We might get that through one of these movies, because the way they did that post-credit scene, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, that the way Sturms is warning about what's to come, something tells me that because of a Doomsday, we're going to be seeing evil versions of the Avengers.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to see, of course, Tony Stark is going to be Dr. Doom. They'll probably have the Hydra, Captain America. I'm thinking you're going to see a Dark Avengers for sure, some evil Avengers.
If that can top or at least equal to Endgame, then that'll be great.
I don't know if you can ever top that movie. That was an emotional roller coaster in itself. If you can kind of come to the level of it, that'd be great. But I don't know if they can ever, hit such heights with that kind of momentum they had. And that was, people were screaming and hollering when Steve had the hammer. In the theater I was at, people were hooting and hollering, screaming. I was like, this is fucking awesome. You felt, because I always go to either opening night or the day before the opening night, whatever, depending on what my work schedule is. But that night, it was a Friday night, and the whole theater was full. And these days, that's saying something, because when I went, I think there may be 20 people in the theater this time around. But with that movie, Endgame, man, people just went fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, it was something, yeah.
I think it took like maybe 5 minutes to calm the crowd down, because they're just steadily screaming, holler, hooting, holler. You're like, what are they saying? I had to go back to watch it again just to hear what the hell they were saying.
Still, I wonder with this movie, I wonder what's going to be the new lineup of the Avengers, or as the comics would say, the new Avengers.
They may bring in the Thunderbolts kids, those guys, Yelena. They might bring her in. Of course, Anthony Mackie's character, he'll be in charge. Bucky, if he's not doing something with Congress, because now he's like a senator or congressman, one of the two. I think they'll bring back, and then maybe Sentry will be part of it. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really read anything after that. Remember, Vision's still out there too.
True, yeah. I think they're doing some kind of movie or limited series with him.
I think it's a limited TV show with him. I don't think Wanda's dead. I think Wanda's coming back. I think, like, if you watch the movie where that whole rock formation fell, something went up in the air. Watch it real close. Speaking of those Black Widow characters, that was another character I didn't like in this movie. Was that little girl that they placed? She was unnecessary. Did not need her. She was in my opinion, a goodwill Black Widow.
Yeah, I think for this movie, I think they were trying to, I guess, recapture how they did the Winter Soldier movie with Cap, Black Widow, and Sam when he was Falcon. I feel like they're just trying to do the same thing, just on a bigger scale with Stearns and Ross.
Yeah, but that little character, they didn't need her. But I get what they were doing, but it's like she showed up just out of nowhere. She got security clearance for everything. She's on a boat. She's in a cave. She's in his office. I'm like, this bitch got clearance for everything.
At least she wasn't trying to hunt down Sam.
No.
Maybe just for a little bit, but at least she helped out with the fighting on the side.
A little. They could have cut her scenes, left the wrestlers in.
I'm just glad they brought in Isaiah Bradley because I like the actor Carl Lumbly because he was the voice for Martian Manhunter in Justice League.
Yeah, we met him once at New York Comic Con, and sweet man. And Mike Sullivan, my buddy, he showed up dressed as Martian Manhunter, just full body paint. And it's a funny story. When we got to New York, he realized he did not have his red X for his costume. He didn't get it in time, so he was stuck with just a cape, some trunks, and body paint. So we went to Target and got Christmas ribbon and put it across his chest. So he wore Christmas ribbon as his costume.
I mean, I would have sold just with red paint.
Yeah, well, that probably would have been better. But when we got there was nobody in his line. So when Mike showed up as the Martian Manhunter, everybody was like, "Oh, yay!" And he came out from behind the booth and was taking pictures with us, and he was happy to see Mike. It made his day. Mind you, Mike hated it because the paint was just itchy. He had like these big prosthetics on his forehead that just looked ridiculous, but he wore them. And when we got back to the hostel in Brooklyn to get that paint off, he was in there for at least 45 minutes to an hour. It just wouldn't come off. I'm like, dude, you're a better man than me. And it was body paint, like it was made for costume, and it would not come off. So, but yeah.
It's amazing how you guys have done that with the body paint and everything.
Man, I told you about my Hulk. I was on just acrylic paint when I did my my Hulk costume. It was green paint, and I had 3 hours in it because it made me sick. I felt nauseous. I felt like it was drawing me in. I was like, oh, I gotta go. But yeah, man, after that, I bought a t-shirt, like a green Hulk t-shirt with the muscles on it. I was like, I'm not doing that body paint acrylic paint. Now, later on, we got Mayron paint, and we would use Mayron makeup, and it breathes. But yeah, I don't put acrylic body or acrylic paint, like canvas paint, on your body. It's not healthy.
But still, like, even able to look, even with when you had that muscle shirt and with the torn like lab coat, like that.
Yeah, it was basically I got some scrubs from Goodwill, some purple scrubs, and I got a button-down shirt, and just ripped it up, and then made like a name tag that said Bruce Banner on it. Painted myself up, and it looked good, but it wasn't safe.
Yeah. The one last thing I say about with seeing Harrison Ford back, I mean, it's a shame that the last actor, William Hurt, passed away before they could do any filming for this movie, but I hope we do get to see more of Harrison Ford as Ross before he gets too old to do this.
Yeah, he's like 80, isn't he?
Yep, 82.
Well, hell, William Shatner's 93, and he's still going strong. So, and every time he comes to a Comic-Con, he walks out on his own. He's got his own bearings about him. He'll do panels. So maybe Harrison Ford can hang out longer. You know, that'll be a blessing. Obviously, Harrison Ford isn't going to be a big raging monster, but they had, you know, this guy's face. That's Harrison Ford right there. Come on.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about with this Red Hulk is that no matter how much he's changed, it still looks like Harrison Ford just with being all red face.
Did a good job with this one.
Of course, like with, I would say for Ed Norton and Mark Ruffalo, when they transform, like, it's still modeled after their face, just very distorted and much more, like, angrier.
Yeah, Ruffalo, if you look close, it just looks like his face is puffy. You know, they puffed him out, made him green. Ed Norton, his face is sharp, more sharp features, or his face was sort of distinctive with the Hulk. The computer generation wasn't as good as it is now, but they still used the Ed Norton Hulk as a predecessor to this new Green Hulk, because when the Abomination put his little spiky elbow into his chest, if you look at the new movies, he's got a scar right there. So with the Abomination.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they kept that detail.
Yeah, but they didn't keep the detail of him being in love with Betsy Ross. So
yeah, I was like, why leave her out just in place of Natasha being, I guess, the new love interest? I mean, it's fine, but Bay was an important part with the Hulk.
Very much. They left her out for a long time, and then they finally brought her back. And I think they de-aged her, Liv Tyler, in the movie, because she looked the same as she did in the first movie. Still beautiful. I mean, she's still beautiful now. So I don't know what they did, but
I guess you could say maybe she was blipped.
Yep, I think she was blipped. That's their go-to.
Well, whatever happens, hopefully, yeah, with however Marvel's story is going to end out with the movies, we can still see more, especially if we get to see another different take on the X-Men, especially now that there's adamantium.
Yeah, they got the adamantium, so they're probably going to bring in a new actor. Hopefully it's Henry Cavill as Wolverine, the Calverine, but they'll probably still Jack until he's 90.
Yeah, who knows? Probably in Secret Wars, we might get to see both.
Maybe. That's gonna with that, so we'll see what happens. You know, I'm pretty sure they're not going to go exactly how the comic was, but for Secret Wars, in my opinion, you need Steve Rogers there, because Steve was very pinnacle to that story. So, and plus, you had Peter there, Peter Parker, so he's got to be there. Hopefully, they bring in the symbiote, because that's, of course, where he got his symbiote suit, was in the Secret Wars. So,
yep, you never know. But I would say that'd be our time for today. I want to say thank you again for being part of this podcast, and thanks to all you viewers for tuning in. For there'll be definitely more superhero content reviews coming up soon.
Take care and Hulk out.